Hey everyone, Data here, and let me cut to the chase. You are wondering if NHL 25 is playable again, especially in franchise mode, now that the emergency patch 1.3.1 has gone live today, December 16th of 2024. Well, let me start breaking it down for you. Let's go into franchise mode. Let's see what was patched. Just as a reminder, 4 major things were patched. It was the issue with the icon passing throughout all modes, along with the 3 issues in franchise mode that were patched right here. The issue with conversations in the AHL preseason, the delay when navigating different screens for the scout different players, find, trade, and edit lines, and also the soft lock in negotiations in the off season that would keep you from advancing a day when you would go to re-signing a player, essentially between the draft and July 1st in your re-sign phase. So let's open up a franchise mode right here. Right away, the menus seem to be a bit more fluid. Things are going around pretty quickly. We'll get a better idea of that when we go into the edit line screen. So let's just start up the franchise mode right here, a brand new one. We'll just call it a test. And we'll start with the very first thing that was patched, which was fix an issue where the conversation tab was not accessible in AHL preseason or off-season. If I go to the AHL and go down to conversations, those are now available once again, and I can give those goals to my AHL players. I can go to a conversation with Alexandre Barré-Boulet, and I can say, season goal, j'ai un but pour toi, mon ami. Absolutely, goals are key to winning games long-term. Let's focus, let's get you an award. I don't know why, like this might just be an issue that was already there anyways, but why can't the award challenge also list AHL awards? Why does it tell me that it has to win the Rocket Richard, the Art Ross? What if he wins an award in the AHL? But that's a question for another day. Just to say, the issue of AHL preseason conversations not being available is no longer there. It has been patched. Approved, stamp, check mark, beautiful. Next, fix delay when navigating scout-specific players, find, trade, and edit line screen. So starting first with the scouting. But scouting was essentially undoable unless you were willing to dedicate about 3 to 5 times longer in amount of minutes, I suppose, per scouting session. Usually to do all 20 of your amateur scouts, it'll take you maybe about 8 minutes. Now we're talking 30 minutes plus. So is that still the case if I go to scout-specific players and try to run through the tabs here? No problem. Yeah, just practicing a few times here. Remove, then re-put. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's any different than it, like, it's back to what it was. That's what it is. It was always good when it worked well, so it's back to what it was. Check mark, beautiful. Next, the find trade screen. Now, what was happening, aside from the delay, was also the wrong player coming up when you'd go to find trade. So for example, if I went to find trade and I went to click on Kirby Doc, or let's say a player who doesn't have a... So if I clicked on Justin Barron, I believe the issue was that it would go to the player above or below. So it might have chosen Newhook or Beck, even though I click Barron and then I click Find Trade. So now when you do that, it still shows, okay, Barron pops up, beautiful. If I go to another player, scroll down here to Kapanen, I say Find Trade again. Does it show me options for Kapanen? Yes, it does. Wonderful. So I find this is still kind of laggy. Like if I click... Let me show you an example. It's tough because you can't see me clicking the controller really. But if I click X... That's a long time. It's always been like that. It's not new, but that's still an issue that seems to be prevalent. And then I click L1, 3, 2, 1, click. Yeesh, and it takes a little bit, yeah, it takes quite a while for things to come up. Now, that's because a lot of things are coming my way. I have 30 trade offers coming in and all that. So, again, it's not amazing, but it's back to what it was, and it's no longer broken. Checkmark, approved, wonderful. And finally, the edit line screen. Edit lines, I was playing around with this a little bit. I think this is just another one of, it's back to what it is. It's still not great, but it's back to what it is. So if I try to go, let's say from Slavkovsky to Gallagher, I'm going to go right, down, down. So let me try going fast and then a bit more slow. So right, down. I stopped at Caulfield. Didn't even register that I clicked down twice. So now I'm going to go just a little bit slower. Right, down. Okay. I'm going to go back up, left. Yeah, so it's not great, but it's not any worse than it was. I'm not trying to say, oh, thank you, EA, I kiss your feet, and I thank you for this wonderful blessing. It still needs improvement, but just the ability to do this, to go right, down, left, up, right, left, just doing this, despite the little bit of lag behind it, as long as I'm not clicking left, up, down, left, right, as long as I'm not doing that, which I shouldn't really be doing anyways, it's not a big deal. So I'll call that approved as well. All I want is not to have to go left, up, right. As long as I'm not doing that, I'm not going to be picky about it. So could it still be improved? Absolutely. But I will take this over what was there previously. So again, I will give that check mark approved. Thank you very much. We're not better off than we were, but at least we're back to a point where the mode is playable without me having to dedicate 3 hours where I previously dedicated 30 minutes. Just on top of that, just, general menu speed. Let's say I go L1, down, 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 R1, down, down, up, down, down, L1, R1, sorry, whatever. Things are responding well in the franchise hub. Whenever it comes to edit lines and find trades, there's still a little bit of a lag, but it's much more manageable than how it was after the 1.3.0 patch. Now, as I sim towards the offseason to check on the last glitch that was patched, you might be wondering, with improved delay times at menus and stuff like that, could simulation speed also be improved? Personally, as I watch this sim go, maybe there's an improvement by like 5 or 10%. It's still not great. Maybe it's just something playing in my head. Maybe it's just because I turned off the notifications for waivers and trades and head coach pop-ups or what. But I wouldn't say it's really that much improved, if any. It could just be tricks in my head. You can be the judge of that as you watch the sim speed go by right here. But I would say it's not a noticeable improvement if there is one. And some parts of the season just seem faster than others. Like this month of February has been super, super slow. So I might even take back what I said about 5 to 10%. It's at certain moments it's faster, certain moments it's slower, but overall after an entire season, it's probably still about 7, 8, 9 minutes to get through a year. Depending, of course, on how many pop-ups you have coming your way, if you have morale and injuries and all that turned on, but even everything turned off, yeah, doesn't really seem like anything noticeable. Okay, now here we are in the re-sign phase. Let's say I was re-signing players, doing whatever I wanted to do. Let me send out an offer here to Kirby Doc. Actually, I need an expiring contract. Let's go to David Savard. What do you got to say here, Davey? 1 year, 2.525, sold. There you go. Accept your offer, great. Maybe let's even send one that's not accepted. Something to do with negotiations that carries over a day. Maybe that changes. All right, 2 years at 1.75, way less interested, but he'll get back to me on the offer, blah, blah, blah. And now I press advance the day. This is where you used to be soft locked, but no longer. You're able to advance the day. You're able to back out, back into franchise mode. Lovely. So the patch has done what it claimed to do. That's great, but there's one thing that the patch didn't claim to do that I was hoping was going to be fixed anyways, and it didn't get fixed. We're going to have to just kind of deal with it until January. Thankfully, there's an easy workaround, but it's still kind of frustrating. And that glitch is the glitch that will have you play over 82 games per season if you're not careful. What do I mean by that? So, if I have a normal game in the calendar, and I just advance a day, go through the game, no problem, nothing happens, the game is simulated, whether it be at this screen or in the calendar screen, not a problem at all. But if for whatever reason I go into the game, I want to watch the game be simulated, and even beyond that, I want to go in and play the game or watch the game, jumping into a simulation. Let's say I jump into the third period. It's 2-1, all right? I want to jump in to start the third. Buffalo's up 2-1. I want to hop in. Whether I be the coach or the player or whatever else it might be, as soon as I've entered the game, and I'll show you, by the way, that icon passing is also fixed. Ooh, I lost the face-off. Wasn't really trying. My bad. Now, icon passing also there. I press circle, goes to there. I press triangle, goes to there, no problem. So icon passing is back and available in all game modes, so that's another part of the patch, the final part of the patch. And now, if I quit this game, or if I let the game finish, whatever it is, and I go back to the main screen of franchise mode, it will show me that that game has not yet been played. If I then say, oh, well, let me go back into it again, and I sim the game once more, it will re-simulate that game as if it never happened, give me brand new results. See, this game now, it ends 2-1 for the Canadians. And what happened? 3-1. It went, what? What was that? It went in the shootout? Wait, no, that can't be. What just happened? Even, again, it just doesn't make sense. It goes even further. And once I exit this time, it will register the game as being now a 4-3 shootout. What? Okay, so 4-3 shootout win, whatever. But I've played 2 games, and my record is 2-1-0. It was that game against Detroit, and now this game against Buffalo. Only 2 games have been played, yet it has registered me for playing 3 games. I mean, look in the standings as well. It shows 3 games, the record of 2-1. Now, what you have to be very careful of is re-simulating the game. It's easy enough to avoid. Again, let's see how we can avoid it. Let's say I go to the Ottawa game and I do the exact same thing. I go into the sim and I want to watch. I'm not going to cut any part of the... I'm not going to do any video editing here. I want you to see the entire process. So I sim the first, I sim the second, I jump into the third period once again. Let's say this time I go in as the coach. Doesn't change anything, but let's say this time I go in as a coach. This time what will happen will be the exact same thing. I'll exit the game. It will show me that the game has not yet been played. So let's see it right here. Great, the game started. I'm at the Bell Center. We pause, we exit. And as soon as that happens, we're back in the same spot. But as long as I advance a day, the game will be registered as whatever that game's score was. So at this point, this is the make it or break it point. At this point, you cannot play the game again, or else it will register as twice. You must advance a day, sim to next game, whatever it is. As soon as you advance the day, the game that had been played already, that you went in and watched, that game will be registered. Now the Canadians are 3-1-0, 4 games having been played, but really it was just 3 games. So you have to be very careful with that. It's easy to avoid. Just make sure you don't press sim game twice. But it's still another annoying piece of something to keep in mind. And honestly, it makes me think, what else might be out there that we haven't yet learned about this patch being broken? We're only a few hours from this patch having been made. I wouldn't be surprised if in a couple days on the subreddit, someone's saying, oh, I just found out that this other thing is broken. So, in conclusion, is franchise mode in NHL 25 fixed? I don't think so. I still think that there are a few little tweaks on top of the stuff that has already not been great for a long time. What the patch said it was going to patch has been patched. So patch 1.3.1 is a success. Everything is working as it should. The only issue is, just because things are working as they should, it doesn't mean that they are working optimally. You follow what I'm saying? Edit lines works great, but it's still a little laggy. Is it much better than before and now once again usable, playable, all that? Yes. But there's still other issues. I can get on a soapbox and talk about it for a long time here, but I'll stop right there. You wanted to know if this patch fixed the game. I would say it has fixed it to the extent of bringing it back to what it was before it was broken. So yes, credit where credit is due. Thank you, EA, for not leaving us in the dark and getting this done within 2 weeks, but it also shouldn't have happened in the first place. So I try to be as balanced as possible in all of my critiques, but let's be honest here. This should have never been the case over the last couple of weeks. So thank you very much for watching. I'll always be keeping you updated on any EA NHL news, especially in franchise modes. Make sure to subscribe to not miss out on any of that. Hit that bell to be notified when videos come your way, franchise modes, career sims, and much more, as well as all of our live stream series. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a comment, especially letting me know, is there anything that I missed that has now been broken? Let me know for future videos I can explore and try and make EA devs or whatever aware of what's been happening. Please let me know if you've caught anything in this patch in the comments down below or in our Discord server, linked in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.